AI picks the ultimate England team of all time. England, the birthplace of football. Home to legends like Bobby Moore, Bobby Charlton, and Wayne Rooney. But here's the question that's divided fans for decades. Who makes it into the ultimate England all-time 11? Well, today, we're settling this debate once and for all. We asked 5 of the most advanced artificial intelligences on the planet, Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and LeChat, to analyze every stat, every trophy, every iconic moment, and pick the greatest England team ever assembled. And I'll tell you right now, some of these decisions are going to make you scream at your screen. Stay until the end, drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's see if you agree with the AI's decided. Let's get into it. We start where every great team begins, with the manager. And Grok came out swinging with a name that's absolutely untouchable. Sir Alf Ramsey, the man who delivered England's only major trophy, the architect of the 1966 World Cup triumph. With 113 matches in charge, Ramsey revolutionised English football by abandoning traditional wingers and introducing his famous wingless wonders system. It was pragmatic, it was effective, and it won England the World Cup on home soil. But wait, Gemini had other ideas. It voted Sir Bobby Robson, the man who managed England for 8 years and 95 matches, posting a record of 47 wins, 30 draws, and 18 losses. Robson took England with the quarter-finals in 1986, and most importantly, to the semi-finals of Italia 90, England's best World Cup performance on foreign soil at that time. A romantic choice, no doubt. However, the rest of the AIs weren't having it. ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and LeChat all sided with Grok. Sir Alf Ramsey it is. The only manager to ever win England a major trophy takes his place on the touchline of this all-time 11. Let's talk about the last line of defence, the goalkeeper. And honestly, this position sparked serious debate. Grok opened strong with Peter Shilton, England's most capped player of all time with 125 appearances. That's more than anyone. Yes, even more than Wayne Rooney. Shilton kept 66 clean sheets, a national record, and played in 3 World Cups. His penalty shootout heroics in Italia 90 against West Germany are the stuff of legend, even though England ultimately fell short. But then Gemini dropped a bombshell. Gordon Banks, the goalkeeper who literally made the greatest save in World Cup history. You know the one. Against Pele in 1970. Banks was the cornerstone of England's 1966 World Cup victory, starting every single match and conceding just 3 goals in 6 games. For Gemini, there's simply no debate. Banks is the most iconic goalkeeper England has ever produced. ChatGPT agreed, so did DeepSeek, and when LeChat finally cast the vote, it was unanimous from those 3. Gordon Banks steps between the posts as the goalkeeper in England's all-time 11. A World Cup winner, a legend, and the man who pulled off the impossible. Now we move to the defence. At right back, Gemini chose Gary Neville. 85 caps, 3 Euros, 2 World Cups. The most consistent right back of his generation. His tactical discipline and positioning made him a defensive cornerstone for over a decade. But DeepSeek went vintage with George Cohen, the 1966 hero who played every single minute of that World Cup. Not once subbed off. A rock-solid partnership with Bobby Moore. The other AIs made their choice clear. Grok, ChatGPT, and LeChat all voted for Gary Neville. He takes his place at right back. For the first centre-back spot, there was zero debate. Bobby Moore, the eternal captain, 108 appearances. World Cup winning captain in 1966. Pele himself called Moore the best defender he ever faced. His tackle on Jarzinho in 1970 is still shown in coaching seminars today. Every single AI agreed. Not one dissenting vote. Bobby Moore is the first centre-back, and it couldn't be anyone else. But here's where it gets messy. Choosing the second centre-back turned into an all-out war. Grok went with Terry Butcher, the warrior. 77 caps, a leader during Italia 90, and famous for that blood-soaked bandage against Sweden. He played through pain, led by example, and was the heart of that semi-final run. Gemini, however, reached way back into history and pulled out Billy Wright, the first player in the world to reach 100 international caps. He captained England in 3 World Cups and set the standard for loyalty and leadership long before Moore came along. A true pioneer. But ChatGPT shocked everyone by throwing in Rio Ferdinand. 81 caps, 3 World Cups, elegance on the ball, dominant in the air, and one of the most complete centre-backs England has ever seen. Ferdinand brought a level of composure and technical quality that elevated the entire defence. So we've got 3 names, 3 completely valid choices. And the tension was real. DeepSeek voted for Billy Wright, giving him a second vote. But then Lee Chat created a tie by voting for Rio Ferdinand. That left Grok as the tiebreaker. And after a moment of consideration, Grok chose Rio Ferdinand. The modern legend partners Bobby Moore at the heart of England's defence. Controversial? Maybe, but you can't argue with his quality. At left back, Grok chose Ashley Cole. 107 caps, 3 World Cups, 2 Euros. Widely considered England's greatest left back ever. Cole pocketed Cristiano Ronaldo multiple times internationally and was world class even when England underwhelmed. DeepSeek had a curveball. Stuart Pearce, Psycho, the warrior who missed that penalty in Euro 96, then redeemed himself by scoring in the shootout with that raw, emotional celebration. Great story. But the other AIs sided with Cole. Gemini, ChatGPT, and Lee Chat locked him in. Ashley Cole takes the left-back spot. Into midfield now. At defensive midfielder, DeepSeek chose Nobby Stiles, the destroyer of the 1966 World Cup winning team. Stiles didn't score bangers, but he neutralised the opposition's best players. His man-marking masterclass against Eusebio in the semi-final is one of the greatest defensive performances in World Cup history. Every single AI agreed. Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, and Lee Chat all backed Stiles. The unsung hero takes his place as defensive midfielder. Now things get spicy. The creative midfielder role turned into an absolute battlefield. Grok opened with Steven Gerrard, Captain Fantastic. 114 caps, 21 goals, 25 assists. Gerrard played in 3 World Cups and 3 Euros, and he captained England 38 times. His box-to-box energy, his long-range screamers, his ability to drag England through matches by sheer willpower. He was the heartbeat of the team for over a decade. But ChatGPT wasn't having it. It went old school. Bobby Charlton. We'll come back to him. Don't worry. Gemini threw in yet another option. Paul Scholes. 66 caps, 14 goals, and a passing range that was absolutely world-class. Scholes could control a game from deep, split defences with one pass, and his tactical intelligence was off the charts. Many believe he was underused by England, which makes his case even more fascinating. Then DeepSeek added fuel to the fire with Glenn Hoddle. Pure elegance. A technician with one of the most cultured left feet England has ever seen. Hoddle could dictate tempo, spray passes across the pitch, and his vision was unmatched. 4 different names, 4 completely valid arguments. This was chaos. And the final decision came down to Lee Chat, which ultimately sided with Grok. Steven Gerrard takes the creative midfield spot. A modern icon, a leader, and a player who gave everything for the shirt. But we're not done with the midfield yet. For the attacking midfielder role, the number 10, Gemini went with the obvious choice, Sir Bobby Charlton. 106 caps, 49 goals, a World Cup winner in 1966 and the Ballon d'Or winner that same year. Charlton was the brain, the soul, and the creativity of England's greatest ever team. His free kick against Portugal in the semi-final was perfection. He played in 3 World Cups and remains one of the most iconic footballers in English history. ChatGPT, however, had a wildcard ready. Paul Gascoigne. Gaza. The most naturally gifted English attacking midfielder of all time. 57 caps, 10 goals, and a tournament performance at Italia 90 that had the entire nation in tears. Gascoigne could do things with the ball that defied logic, and when he was on form, he was absolutely unstoppable. Lee Chat backed Gaza, giving him a second vote, but DeepSeek sided with Charlton. Everything came down to Grok, who cast the deciding vote, and it went to Sir Bobby Charlton. The World Cup winning legend, the Ballon d'Or winner, the icon, takes his place as the attacking midfielder in England's all-time 11. On the right wing, Lee Chat chose David Beckham. 115 caps, 17 goals, 58 matches as captain. Beckham's delivery was surgical, his free kicks world famous. That strike against Greece in 2001? Iconic. Grock backed Beckham. But Gemini went vintage with Sir Stanley Matthews, the wizard of the dribble, the first Ballon d'Or winner ever. DeepSeek gave Matthews the second vote, creating a tie. ChatGPT broke it, choosing David Beckham. He locks down on the right wing. On the left, Grock chose John Barnes, 79 caps, 11 goals, 12 assists. A player who could dismantle defences with pace and dribbling. Barnes was key to the 1990 World Cup semi-final run. Lee Chat threw in Bobby Charlton again, showing his versatility. Gemini added Tom Finney, a complete forward. But ChatGPT, DeepSeek and Lee Chat ultimately backed John Barnes. He takes the left wing spot. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The number 9. The goal scorer. The striker. Lee Chat went modern. Harry Kane, England's all-time leading scorer with 68 goals in 103 caps. Captain since 2018, Kane led England to the 2018 World Cup semi-finals and the Euro 2020 final. His consistency, finishing and leadership make him a generational talent. But ChatGPT had a different option. Gary Lineker, 80 caps, 48 goals, and the Golden Boot winner at the 1986 World Cup with 6 goals. Lineker carried England through that tournament with clinical finishing and was the ultimate big game player. Grock voted for Kane, Gemini voted for Lineker. Everything came down to DeepSeek. And its final decision? Gary Lineker. The Golden Boot winner, the big game striker, the clinical finisher. Lineker is the number 9 in England's all-time 11. Let's quickly run through the substitutes. Backup goalkeeper, Peter Shilton. England's most capped player ever. Defence, Billy Wright and Stuart Pearce. Midfield, Paul Gascoigne and Frank Lampard. Attack, Alan Shearer and Wayne Rooney, England's former all-time leading scorer. So there you have it. The AIs have spoken. Gordon Banks in goal. A back four of Neville, Moore, Ferdinand and Cole. A midfield trio of Styles, Gerrard and Charlton. And an attack featuring Beckham, Barnes and Lineker. But now it's your turn. Do you agree? Would you swap anyone out? Drop your all-time England 11 in the comments below. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this, and subscribe because we've got plenty more of these coming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.